Welcome, language learners from all around the globe, to Listen Up, the podcast that takes you on a captivating voyage through the English language. Whether you've just started your journey or have been navigating the intricacies of English for some time, this podcast is designed to be your trusty compass, guiding you towards fluency and unlocking the wonders of English. I'm your host, Karen, a passionate traveller and an experienced teacher of English as a second language. Join me as we embark on an exciting expedition filled with British history read by a native speaker. Together, we'll conquer the challenges and celebrate the victories of learning English as a foreign language. Each episode of Listen Up will immerse you in a variety of topics, from aspects of British culture, history, and literature. We'll explore useful vocabulary that will empower you to communicate confidently in English. If you want to read along with the podcast, head to my website www.onepawinthesand.com/ESL. The link is in the description. But this podcast isn't just about learning English in isolation. It's about building a community of language learners, supporting one another, and fostering a love of the English language. I encourage you to engage with us through my Patreon page, where you can connect with fellow learners, ask questions, and share your own language journey. So, whether you're sipping tea in Tokyo, walking the streets in Sao Paulo, or studying in a bustling cafe in Berlin, Listen Up is here to accompany you on your quest for English fluency. Join me as we embark on this transformative expedition, where language becomes an adventure and your dreams of effective communication become a reality. Today's episode is called Father of Science Fiction Born. H.G. Wells was a famous writer known for creating exciting stories about the future and science. He was born on this day, 21st of September 1866, in England. When H.G. Wells was a child, his family didn't have much money and he wasn't always very healthy, but he loved reading and learning, and he was very curious. This meant he did well in school. He even went to a special science school in London and learned about biology from a famous teacher named Thomas Henry Huxley. This learning influenced the stories he wrote later. H.G. Wells is called the father of science fiction because he wrote stories that were different from any other stories that had been written at the time. Some of his most famous books are The War of the Worlds, The Time Machine, and The Invisible Man. In these books, he imagined aliens coming to Earth and time travel. People loved how he mixed science with stories. One of his famous books, The War of the Worlds, tells a story about Martians invading Earth, and it shows all the problems that happened because of it. This story is still very popular today, and many movies and shows are based on it. Another book, The Time Machine, H.G. Wells talked about time travel. This means going to the past or future. He used a machine in the story to do this. It made people think about time and how humans have changed over time. H.G. Wells didn't only write stories, he also looked at the world around him. In a book called The War in the Air, he talked about how airplanes could be used in future big wars. This was before World War I happened, so he kind of predicted it. He also wanted to make the world better. He talked about ideas like socialism, where people share things, and women's rights, where women have the same rights as men. He wrote a book called The Outline of History to help people understand the past. Even today, people still like H.G. Wells' ideas about the future, technology, and how people behave. His stories have been made into movies, TV shows, and radio shows, so new generations can still enjoy them. And that wraps up another episode of Listen Up. I hope you enjoyed learning about my topic today and practicing your English. Remember, the exploration doesn't have to end here. If you have any lingering questions or want to continue the conversation, I've got some great opportunities for you. First off, I offer private lessons for those of you eager to expand your knowledge further, whether it's practicing today's subject or exploring other topics. I'm here to guide you on your English journey. Reach out to me through my website or social media platforms, and let's embark on a personalized learning experience together. I have been involved with training people for more than 10 years. I've been teaching English as a second language for over a year, in which time I have taught over 500 students, many of whom are regulars. But wait, there's more. If you're a devoted fan of Listen Up and want to show your support, consider joining our Patreon community. Your contribution directly helps us bring you more episodes and maintain the quality of our show. Your support truly means the world to me, and we couldn't continue this podcast without you. So whether you choose private lessons or Patreon, or both, I look forward to staying connected and exploring the fascinating realms of English as a second language together. Thank you once again for joining us on Listen Up. Until next time, keep practicing.